Getting out of the weeds is not easy, but it's necessary for any leader to be effective. The question becomes how? How do you get out of the weeds? Today, I'm going to help you take the first step. Let's dive in. Okay, let's talk about getting out of the weeds. You know what I'm talking about, right? That place where leaders find themselves bogged down in the day-to-day minutia of running a business. It's easy to get caught in the weeds, but it's not where the real action is. See, the real action is having the freedom to work on the things you love most. One of the leadership secrets to growing a business is getting everyone in the right seats, doing what they love, and doing what they're really good at. That includes you, the leader. If you're not doing what you love, you know what? That's a problem. Trust me, if you're not happy, your team is never going to be happy. So how do leaders like you get out of the weeds? Let me unpack this. First, leaders need to delegate. See, many leaders get stuck in the weeds because they think they have to do everything themselves and that they're the only ones who can do it right. But that's not true. You have a team for a reason. And if you want any shot of gaining the freedom that you desire to focus on the things that you love doing, you're going to need to delegate to them. This begs the question, why do leaders struggle to delegate to their team leaders who struggle to then delegate to their team below them? Right? The main reason is they're control freaks. See, many leaders are control freaks. You may not admit it, but it's true. They can't stand the thought of letting go of control because they don't trust their team, or they're afraid they're incapable of handling the additional responsibility, or they're simply just afraid of failure. But that's not true. As I talked about last week, if you built a team of badasses, they are, without question, more than capable, and they're ready to step up and take on more responsibilities. If you missed that video, check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called Leaders Are Only as Good as Their Team. And I talk about how to build a team of badasses. Let me tell you this, being a control freak is a recipe for disaster. Simply said, because if you don't trust your team, you're not going to get the best out of them. If you want to get out of the weeds, you need to start delegating tasks to your team and give them the autonomy to make decisions and take ownership of their work. And I know that it can be scary to do that. I know, but I'm telling you that it's the only way to free up time to focus on the bigger picture, is to simply delegate some of the tasks on your plate. This starts with setting clear priorities. Unfortunately, a lot of leaders are not good communicators. They don't take the time to explain what and how they want something done. In their mind, it's clear, but you know what? That's not the mind that matters. Your job is not just to communicate what you want to be done. Your job is to ensure your team understands what needs to get done. And trust me, there's a big difference. If you can't articulate and define the result, how the hell do you expect your team to produce it? Think about it, right? Next, you need to make time for strategic thinking. It would help if you just learn to step back and work on the business, not in the business. I say that because when you're in the weeds, it's so easy to get consumed by the endless list of details and action items, all those things that take you away from thinking strategically about the business. And I know it's important to be in tune with what's happening on the front lines, but you need to make sure you're not missing the forest for the trees. You need to make time for strategic thinking, planning the road ahead, and working on those projects that will grow the business and increase its valuation. Here's the thing, I'm confident that you've probably hired some great people, and I'm confident they're probably doing some really fantastic things. The question is this, are they allowing you the freedom to get to the next level? That's the key question. Are they giving you the freedom to focus on the things that you want to focus on? I bet there's also some leaders on your team that you know have the potential to do more, right? They have the potential to be the next superstars. At LXU, we call those people growth champions. The last point I want to make is this. If you want to get out of the weeds, you need to develop growth champions throughout your business who can be an extension of you. Think about that for a second. You need to level those people up if you want to get the freedom that you're looking for. And the best way to level them up is to invest in them and their development. Just think about it for a second. If your best leaders start leaving, you're never going to get out of the weeds. That's just a cold, hard fact. You don't want to go through that headache. I know you don't. Right? You don't want to go through the headache of replacing your best leaders when you already have them. Let's face it, it's costly and it's also a pain in the ass. And the other major cost is that it affects morale. Just imagine if one of your best leaders left. Guess what? Guess what's going to happen? They're probably going to take others with them. Fact of life. This is key because even if you're a really great leader, your best people will eventually leave if they don't feel that you're invested in them and their careers. This has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with them and their need to feel valued. If they feel valued, they're going to contribute more. The faster they contribute more, guess what? The faster you get out of the weeds. When talks of recession hit, you turn on the TV and all you hear are about company layoffs, guess what? Your best people start questioning things. Now is not the time to convince yourself that those mid-level leaders that you think are really solid are not going anywhere. They are the ones you need to invest in the most to ensure their loyalty. You need to invest in their leadership development for a couple of really key reasons. First is the cost of replacing them is typically 2 to 4x their base salaries. When a key leader leaves, it rocks the culture, which causes more work, not less for you. The faster your leaders grow, the faster you get out of the weeds. Imagine for a second if your peers and board saw your mid-level leaders as an extension of you. Would that help you get out of the weeds? Just think about that for a second. Let me tell you this, it's possible. It's possible to tap into your team's thought leadership to own, navigate, and solve challenges that would have normally pulled you into the weeds of daily firefighting. And I know what you're thinking. I know because it's the same thing other senior executives I work with have thought, and that is how? How can I get out of the weeds? If that is a question you're asking, I invite you to take the first step and go to clevelfreedom.com and schedule a call. I would love nothing more than to show you and workshop with you on how you can transform your mid-level leaders into growth champions so they give you the freedom to focus on doing what you love. Follow the link in the description if you're interested. Regardless of how good you are, you can't do everything. You need leaders planted throughout your business who can be that extension of you. That's how you're going to get out of the weeds. If you or someone on your team wants to up-level their leadership game, I invite you or them to apply for our 12-week Self 2.0 leadership program. Registration is now open and the link is also in the description. If you're not at either of those stages yet, that's cool. I'd like to just simply buy you a copy of my latest book, Freedom to Experiment, How to Ignite a New Level of Energy, Focus, Momentum in yourself and your team. Follow the link in the description and I'll personally sign a copy for you. Okay, if you like what I shared today, do me a favor. Give it a thumbs up, drop a comment related to your business, and of course subscribe. Because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.